All righty.
And you guys keep talking about just stacking the wins one right after the other, but now you're home. And I know Dallas is always tough, but is it important for you, or is it just cliche to say that this is a good stretch for you?
Yeah, no, it's definitely important. I think we talk about every week. Like every week just seems important, and more important as you get into these last couple months of football. But yeah, I mean, it's a big game for us. We know it's a good football team coming into a home stadium that we haven't been in for a while. So excited to be at home, but when you do come home, it comes with a responsibility to play your best football because we know the fans are going to be behind us. We know they're going to be loud and excited, and especially with everything going on, they're going to be excited. So that comes with the responsibility to prepare this week and then play our best football on Sunday.
Any extra for whatever, they've beaten you 2 straight years at US Bank Stadium coming in against the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, every year is a new year. But yeah, you'd be lying if you didn't say that some of that stuff comes up as the week goes on and you start thinking a little bit about it. But again, at the end of the day, every year is a new year. Staffs change, players change, and you just have to be prepared for this week. Honestly, things change so much from first week of the season to now. So you just have to be prepared for this week, give your best foot forward, and know that every single game during your season matters, especially when you get to the end of the season. You start looking back at some of these games. So we got to make sure that we prepare and play our best football.
Anything you do differently, Adam, with the short week next week, with these 2 games over the course of 5 days? Anything you do different physically and mentally this week?
Nothing this week, but yeah, next week there'll be some different things that you do to prepare, obviously with a short week. But no, you still try to take it 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time, really. And I think that's what can benefit you on a short week is if you prepare the right way each day and you do the little things to keep your body going and get into close to 100% as you can throughout the year. I think those things pay off on the short weeks as well. So not necessarily anything you're doing different the week leading into a short week, but I think those things just kind of help when you take care of business the right way throughout the week. And then when you get to that next week, you really just cram everything in and get as prepared as possible and then go play football.
There was a play that looked like a screen to Cook where Cousins threw it to you on the right sideline. Was that purely improvised, or had you told him that guys aren't guarding you on screens?
No, because normally with screens, you got O-linemen downfield, so you can't throw down the field. But it was completely improvised. The O-linemen couldn't get out. They were getting held up or whatever by the D lineman. So it was just improvised, and Kirk did a great job of fouling me and got it out enough time, in a quick enough time that the guys weren't down the field, so it was a legal play.
What was the vibe in the receiver room, just like going through the film of all of the plays in that game?
Yeah, honestly, when you're going through the plays and you're kind of looking at individual bases, it doesn't have that same feeling as it does throughout a game. We are also very critical on ourselves, so you're kind of looking at it from an individual perspective. You're looking at it saying, hey, how could have I done better on this play? And you're very critical of how you could have performed better. So it's not the same vibe as you feel on game day, post game, maybe looking at the film on the plane. But I mean, obviously you get to see those plays again and reminisce and kind of, give your kudos where they're deserved to the other guys.
What do you find most impressive about Dallas's pass defense?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, those guys have really great ball skills in the back end. They fly around, and they seem to be very tight coverage. Even when there's catches, they're contested catches. You can tell that they're very well coached. There's not a lot of broken coverages, a lot of guys running free, messing up coverages, things like that. They do what they do, and they do it really well. So a great challenge for us this week again, and again, that's what we want. We want to play against the best, and we want to go show what we can do as a group and as an offense and as a team.
Adam, when you saw Duke Shelley make that play, I think he's been on the scout team for weeks. How unsurprising, I guess, is it just knowing what it's been like to go across from him on the practice field?
Yeah, obviously super excited to see him make that play. It was a huge play in the game for us as a team, and then individually excited for him. He works his tail off on the scout team, gives us great looks week in and week out. Honestly, he's not usually on the outside, so that was pretty cool to see him, playing a different position than he plays on our scout team even, and go and just compete and be a football player and make a big play in a big moment. I think the coolest thing about it is, Coach talks about that every week. It seems like he kind of brings us in a huddle. Maybe it's post-practice or maybe it's pre-game and talks about how we need every single player in this huddle. It's not the star players. It's not the it's not the 53rd guy on the roster. It's the practice squad guys. It's everybody is going to have to make a play for us to win games and to get to where we want to go, and then for it to come to fruition, and for a guy like that to go make a big play in a big situation, a big game. We're going to need that moving forward.
You're critical as a receiver mentality, but when you see kind of the throws that Kirk made, do you enjoy those a little bit? Maybe since you don't have to be quite as self-critical,
I think that's the best part about watching the film, is seeing what Kirk goes through. Because when we're running our routes, we just think we're open and that we should be getting the ball. And then you see, his ability to move in the pocket, to make some of these throws that with someone crushing him when he's throwing it. Sometimes we're getting open, but he's maybe already flushed out of the pocket. So you just get to see, from the big picture, where you don't really feel that in the game, maybe. So I think it's great. It shows his toughness. It shows, there's a couple throws where he's throwing it and kind of looking away and getting smacked, and putting it on the money and giving us opportunities to go and make a play for him. So I think that's the coolest thing for me when I get to watch the film, especially as a group.
Last couple. Obviously, JJ says that catch is one of the best he knows he's ever had. Do you know what yours is, and can you share it? Do you remember what your most favorite catch is?
My favorite catch is probably over the shoulder in New Orleans in the playoffs, but I'm not really sure what my best catch is. But that's probably the one that comes to mind when I think one of my favorite catches. But of his, I got a lot of his. He makes those highlight catches look easy, and I always love to see him with the ball in his hands, and then just his body control and things like that. I don't think that was his best catch, honestly, but I'm not sure which one is. He's got so many good ones.
He said it was interesting to see it the first time because he didn't realize he flipped back so far. Is it the same for you when you actually see it on film? Like it's better than maybe you might have thought?
Well, no, because I had front row seats. If you see the clip, I'm like literally just there watching it with the best seats in the house. So it was really impressive, and honestly, it was better live than you watch it on film or watch it in slow motion. It was unbelievable catch, and obviously, and then you put it in the situation. If that was on first down and 10, it just doesn't. It was obviously an unbelievable catch still, but the fact that it was game on the line, fourth down, gotta have it, and he goes and makes a play like that for us to help us win the game is huge.
All right, thanks, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.